So we joined hands with a South African company. We did some collaborative R&D and introduced what is known as a universal fuse, which is much superior to the VT88. A lot of opposition. This management is foolish. They are destroying their own product, which is now bread and butter for us. This is 100% value addition. But when you collaborate, your value addition comes down. But you should look at what is the long term, what is the strategic need for doing that. And today, that division is doing very well only because of that particular decision which we took. Intel does all the time. In fact, this I had taken from Tom Peters, who has written a book on Circle of Innovation. He talks about Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar. That is the principle. That means you create, you operate, you destroy.
The sequence change.
That doesn't matter. Okay.
Brahma,
Oh my God, as things go ahead, I migrate from one to the other. So we need to have all the time attention on our mainstream business. At the same time, we need to look at new ideas. What to do the business? I said every company has to fast forward in thinking and look at what is going to happen. Am I going to be the leader? If not, what should I do today to remain as a leader? Though it is very easily said, very few companies do that. Because they think there is no need for doing this. They are doing very well. Their market capitalization is very high, their EPS is very high. Also, whatever parameters you take, they are doing very well. We need to inculcate a radar vision rather than an arrow vision. What we said sometime back, institutional memory, the way in which we have been doing, we will do business that way. So instead of a narrow vision, we must have a wide angle vision. Who are my competitors going to be after, let us say, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? You must think about a much larger cycle. It's not that the competitors are those who are doing the same. There is a natural tendency. Natural tendency is to think those people who are doing what I am doing are my competitors. Nobody expected GE to play such a big role in finance. We all say that we should have a very radar vision, this, that and all that. But our own mindset prevents a thing from happening. For example, there is what is known as invisibility. We don't see things. Though Nirma was making those detergent and selling, HLL never thought, it was not visible to HLL. Or HMV did not see T-series coming up. Impossibility. A very classic example in this is the IBM laser printers. IBM put in a lot of efforts in laser printing R&D. They came out with a laser printer. It was very expensive. But when some Canon came out with a very inexpensive laser printer, they said it is impossible to do that way. They never believed that it can be done that way. And it is HP who caught that idea, bought Canon or collaborated with Canon. Today HP is the leader in, we don't see IBM in printing at all. Transferability. We think somebody is successful because of this. I think that in my own way. Same IBM, personal printers. IBM was the first to come out with personal printers. But the Japanese produced personal printers at probably 1/3 or 1/5 of the cost of what they used to. What IBM thought is that the Japanese, because they have a large arbitrage of wages, Japan is very cheap to produce that. What is the answer to that kind of thing? Automate the factory. They automated the factory at Lexington. But they did not. They forgot that there is what is known as a quality revolution in Japan. So that is the end of. So these are the things which will prevent you to have a very wide angle vision. It's very easy to say I should have a wide angle vision. Our own mindset, our own internal resistance prevents us from having. Probably we don't want to have, we don't desire. Our wish list is, it's like a third class compartment. When you get it, you don't want anybody else to come in. We need to visualize. Which are the competitors? With the most important, I have been saying that you fast forward and look at what is the scenario planning. That is in short what it is. You need to have strategic forgetfulness. This is again a part of destruction. When I say destroy, you destroy your old ideas. Those things which harm you as a long term for your company, we must forget. We must unlearn. Strategic forgetfulness. Then we need to reinventing the company. What is reinventing the company? We use this term quite often. That means somebody there to start, let us say, an ECIL today. He will not have so many divisions, so many workshop, this, that and all that. He will do it in a different way. So all the time you have to reinvent. As though you are starting fresh, but it is very painful. But if you don't do it, you do not survive. It's a very painful decision. But one needs to do that to survive in the market. Those who take that kind of hard decisions, stand up to the market expectations, move forward. Others will always agree. We need to avoid crisis and reducing surprise. We know crisis is coming, we are better equipped with the crisis. But we should know the crisis is going to happen. After 3 years, I am not going to be in this business. What should I do today? When that really happens, you are well prepared to face that. You need to have early warning system in the company. What are early warning systems? There are so many small things happen. Even if your sales falls by, let us say 0.5%, 1%, it indicates something. We need to analyze. We need not wait until our financial results show that there is something wrong. Other than that, we should look at the early warning system. There is no set rules that if you follow this, then this, you will be the leader. If that were there, there will be only leaders. There will not be any laggers. So these kind of thinking will result into a real-time enterprise. What is a real-time enterprise? Some enterprise which will adjust to the market realities all the time, without much inertia, without much of earlier baggage. Reality of the marketplace. I mean, talking about market is a real. Market has no emotions. Market has no love or hate for anybody. The performance stand in the market. The non-performance have to fall wayside. I'll just read it out. In the past decade, we have witnessed the troubles and even failures of some of world corporations, likes of Polaroid, AT&T, Xerox, Enron, all of you have heard about Enron, Lucent, many other went from hero to bum stage. They were all one of the best companies. They had lots of money. What they had? These were rich companies loaded with talent. They could hire anybody in the world, Nobel laureates they could hire. Surrounded by consultants, the best consultant, McKinsey, this fellow, that fellow, anybody, you can hire one. Quoted by Wall Street, because you are generating so much of EPS, this your market capitalization is so high, all the time you are praised by the Wall Street, or in India it is by Dalal Street. Their leaders were paid millions, no dearth for that kind of compensation in that country. Lionized by media. Ultimately, they vanished, they performed very, very poorly. What did they learn? The strategic lessons they learned the hard way can be summed up. They all lost touch with the reality of the marketplace. This is a very, very important concept. Market has no emotions. Market does not bother about any affinity to any company or any industry or any country for that matter. Today what has happened? Dollar has fallen. Rupee is stronger. The Tirupur fellows do not have any jobs. All jobs are either going to Indonesia or somewhere else. And government is too slow in thinking. Now they are thinking of some package. But the market is lost. So the moment we lose reality with the marketplace, which very, very often happens, that is the end of the company. We need to have anticipatory. We all have heard about IQ, we all have heard about emotional intelligence. There is yet another term called anticipatory intelligence. What does it mean? I must learn to anticipate. It is an imprecise science. We need to create an internal model of an outside thing. What is happening? I must discuss that and see what is happening and anticipate, learn to anticipate. As I said, the inflow phase, the stability phase, outflow phase are not very well defined. There is no straight lines there. You will never know when you are passing from one phase to the other phase. But certain amount of anticipation can protect you from that kind of thing. Definitely anticipation is an imprecise science. Of course, management itself is an imprecise science. I don't know whether Dr. Mishra agrees with me or not. The managers are required to take decisions when all facts are not before them. So we need to anticipate the possible value migration, whether it is in technology sphere, whether it is in business models, because of our own inertia. If you don't do well, somebody else will do. Failure to anticipate can have a disastrous consequences. We need to use foresight to anticipate. Of course, this science has not yet developed, but we can always say, how to see future before it arrives. I think that is the crux of the whole thing. The ex-chairman of Motorola said, 21st century belongs to those managers that learn to anticipate. What we need to do? Ask following questions. Where in my industry will I be allowed to make profit? How is that changing? There must be some signs of it changing all the time. We must catch them early so that we remain healthy. What is driving the change? What are the drivers of change? In order to face that kind of changes, what core competences I should possess? What core competences I must create? What core competences I must acquire? You can always acquire core competences. What can organizations do about it? Customers' needs, how are they changing? So ultimately, the company has to end up with moving picture of the marketplace, which has to be strategic, should have a long-term perspective in that, accurate, fairly accurate. I say you cannot end up with a very accurate picture, and actionable. Ultimately, whatever you think, you must be able to take certain actions within the company so that we meet those challenges. Initiate a dialogue on this kind of thing. That means nothing is going to be sustainable forever. things are going to change. An awareness that today we are doing well, we are not likely to remain like this, we are definitely not likely to remain like this, must be understood in the entire organization. Which activities? Today it is very important. Outsourcing is a very powerful tool today in the hands of the companies. You see that is what is happening in US and all our IT industry is growing only because of somebody else has decided to outsource. Why does he outsource? It is cheaper to make it here. Ultimately it is the economics that drives the business. Create think tank. How do we think? When a cross-functional team meet, there is a different perspective brought into from the various angles. We must think from various angles. You create think tanks. It's a very powerful concept. Many companies have this. Because normally what happens when we are doing well, we are all very busy. We have no time. They think it is all waste of time. It happens in every organization. It happens. And we need to see the future before the future arrives. How to do it? There is no
shortcut.
Quick methodology for that. It has to be hard way. What is true for you may not be true for others. Each organization has to arrive at its own methodology, which may change. That's why I said it is a real-time enterprise. We change our thinking. We change our way of working. Only thing is we have to adapt very fast. That is the real-time enterprise. In today's world, the knowledge management is extremely important because things are moving very. One of the area which is moving very fast is the people. All of us joined Atomic Energy or joined ECIL or joined BHEL or whatever it is and remained for life. Today people are hardly for 2 years. And there is a saying that knowledge is in the minds of the people. Every day so much knowledge comes to the company and in the evening it goes back. We don't know whether next day it's coming back or not. So knowledge management infrastructure has to be there in every company so that the knowledge which is generated by the efforts, by the resources of the company is retained in the company. Change management. See this, every company resists change because it affects people's lives. It's a painful. I always say change is a short-term pain but long-term gain. People look at short-term pain and resist change. If this is the kind of market situation, we must change, however painful it is in the short run. Innovation and creativity along with the operational excellence. We all know what is operational excellence. What we have been doing, we want to do better, better, better. But suddenly we find that there is a disruptive technology which has wiped us out. So simultaneously, we need to look at innovation and creativity. Sometime back we said we need to generate ideas. But unless you try out ideas, you will not know what works, what doesn't work. Ultimately, the simple management principle is try out, what works you keep it, what doesn't work let it go. So we need to have what is known as rapid prototyping. We need to quickly test your ideas, come to a conclusion. Whether should we continue, should we not continue. We should not have any emotional attachment with many of these ideas. Co-optation. Like today is the world where many people are cooperating. Competitors are cooperating. Yesterday I was seeing the TV 18. Alcatel and Lucent have come together. And then Siemens and Nokia, or Siemens or Ericsson or some of them, they have come together. Effective prototyping, effective rapid prototyping is a very important program. Customer-centric focus. I showed you the moving picture. Very easily said, but it's vanishes. Customer-centric focus, all the time it has to be there. Communication and networking skills, industry, academia, interaction. You see the kind of the knowledge base or the energy which is there in the academia is very large. US is well known for using this. India, it is not so well known. So we need to tap that resources. Dynamic strategic vulnerability analysis. First let us talk about vulnerable. What is vulnerability? Something which is going to affect my company. I am vulnerable for that. So we should look at strategic vulnerability. That means long term it is going to affect me. And it has to be dynamic because market is not static. Market all the time changes. So we need to have a dynamic strategic vulnerability analysis all the time. Agility and nimbleness, if we cannot adapt to the changing market needs, changing customer needs, changing requirements very fast, there will be a number of reasons why we cannot adapt. Again we come back to satisfactory underperformance. That we justify why we cannot adapt faster. And we companies draw satisfaction out of that. So ultimately it is the concept of creation, sustaining and destroying competitive advantage. Those people who master this technique will remain as a leader. They match their thinking with the market. Market moves with an assumption of discontinuity and try to adopt continuity. Whereas companies assume continuity and try to adopt discontinuity. But moment the companies also assume discontinuity and try to adopt continuity, you are in sync with market. You have a greater chance of survival. We need to invest while we are still growing. Financial performance should be the last one to see that you are not doing well. There must be some early warning signals to say that there is something wrong with the company. We need to look at two things simultaneously. Those companies which can cook sweet resource simultaneously, that is the operational performance and productivity increase, and at the same time creativity, innovation and the growth. There is no shortcut. There is no genius also involved. It is real hard and smart work. We need to erase institutional memory, easier said than done, because the memories are going to be there, but we need to have, first of all we should be conscious that these are going to deteriorate our performance. That consciousness itself will bring out certain solutions in. We need to have a wide angle vision of our business, competitors, market. We must always know what are the discontinuities of the technologies, which are the disruptive thing to change. IBM did not want to see their mainframe world shift to PCs. That is why they say PCs are not a reality. General Motors did not want their big car to move to small car kind of thing. So very rarely you find big companies saying that it's a bright idea, I must dispense with my earlier idea and catch this idea. In the marketplace, what company is going to do is more important than what company is coming from. That it is a 100-year-old company, did this, did that, it's all history. What is going to be is more important for the market. So corporate birth certificates have no value. Many corporations get into some sort of complacency syndrome, comfort zone. Successful companies wantonly introduce certain amount of discomfort. That means raise the bar. But only as long as There are no sudden upheavals in the market. Anything which jolts them, they are out. The great companies are the ones who plan for future, who foresee the future before the future arrives, or at least try to do that. They are conscious that nothing is going to remain static. Everything is going to change. I must be all the time attentive to that kind of phenomena. I think that's all what I had to say. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. There are many companies in computer world, but no, except big companies like for institutions or big companies, as a total complete product of a computer is Lenovo or some branded companies are there. Suppose any institution wants 100 or 50 computers, a complete computer will be available, like Lenovo or something. For a suppose a PC, a personal computer for a middle class person or anything, there is no complete product like that. Everyone will go for assembled product computers. Why no one has tapped that market? A complete institution, suppose institution wants 50 or 100 computers, many big companies will come forward. They will supply them. But for personal computers, like a middle class want or students they want, everyone will go assemble computers. Or is continuous or 0% trouble.
No, but if you look at, there are many small companies which are supplying this kind of products to a bigger company. In Delhi, my executive secretary told me, you wanted some, I don't remember what he wanted. Wanted either air conditioner or something. Then I said, what is the best way to buy this? He says, we buy it from this firm. He is the one who is supplying to Samsung or Godrej or somebody like that. There are people.
Sir, you say you have to keep on, as your business is successful, you have to think of new idea and make it successful. So if you are not covering cost of this old business before, if there is a new technology, before we cover the cost of the old business, what can we do about that?
Nothing. You have to fix. Because what I said is, market is coming out with some ideas. If you are slow to introduce in the markets, when a new product comes, I think I said somewhere, the value creation life cycle is very limited. Let us say you have to make up what you have invested, along with the profit, everything, let us say 1 year. If you take 5 years to do that, you are out of business. Market has no emotions. Market has no sympathy for a company which has not done. There is no answer. Either you do it or go out of business.
Company in India that Daiwo Motors and Daiwo Electronic Corporation. It is no one in India. Which is no Devo. Can you say the reasons why it is shut down? Having a good market in Africa is yellow and small market.
I don't know about that company, but I can give you some example. All of you have heard about this subprime crisis. Have you heard about subprime crisis? That means a lot of cash in the marketplace. All big financial institutions are involved in this. Subprime in India means something different. Subprime in the US means something. Subprime meant that some bigger companies are able to get loan at less than the prime lending rate. But in US, the subprime means that the people who are not qualified for getting the loan at the prime lending rate are getting because they are relaxed. That means they gave loans to those people who are not eligible, whose credit worthiness is question mark. Why did they do that? Because they wanted to show bigger profits. They wanted to please the shareholders. Today's paper carries something. Even Merrill Lynch, that CEO resigned. Many companies, they do is the same thing. I don't know, Kim wrote a book. It was one time very famous book. Every path is studied with gold or something like that. But they try to fudge lot of accounts like Enron. He is saying.
Then what about in the case of ECTV? That is the television production of ECTV. We couldn't find in the market today where there is good market.
Why did we start ECTV? ECTV we started some time back. It was under different market conditions. In government controlled conditions that public sector should do it. So why we are not competing in the marketplace? Dr. Chidambaram, who was earlier chairman of Atomic Energy, said, ECIL cannot hire Hema Malini for advertisement. If somebody else does it much better than you do, what is the option available to you? Either you match or exceed or get out. Under the circumstances, we thought it is not worth for us. We can get it into high-tech business. Isn't it? It is now, TV is a commodity. So it is company's decision. Why did Intel get out of RAM? Because they thought it is not worth. They should move on to processors. Anybody else? Huh?
Some told
Yes.
emotional dilemma. Simultaneously, you could have an example of Wipro. You gave another example. Wipro. They believe that they should have their core values. Presently, they are selling their baby shampoo and cigarette. They are selling, though they are not getting substantial amount of profit.
Then nothing wrong. Well, what is the question? You are not doing well. You have emotional attachment, which prevents you from declaring that you are not doing well. That's what I said. What is that? Satisfactory underperformance. If you are doing well, why should you? You should have emotional attachment.
So that's what I'm telling, sir. They are getting substantial amount of profit.
Huh?
So Wipro is not getting substantial amount.
They have introduced the selected switches. No, enough is again a relative term.
For that particular segment, or they want it?
Maybe every company is a complex thing. They maybe that cross-subsidizing something somewhere else. No, emotional attachment to defend an existing business, though it is not doing well.
Good evening, sir. So, like for business in the top level, it should be emotional attachment. Like you have to, at the top of management, you have to be very rational. Like when to transform and when to leave a business. Like emotional attachment.
No, you are not emotional. It's a detachment actually.
Detachment, sir. But on the other hand, in HR policies, like for the firm is going for loyalty, citizenship of a firm. So if the top management goes of selling a business, but the workers don't operate, and the plans don't gel well, don't you think the overall health of the company will go down?
Yes, it will. But you look at it for the market. Who is going to feed you? It is the market. My workers are posing, I cannot close down TV, I still make TV. Every TV we made, we were making losses. If you continue, entire company will go. Why G adopted what I said is
Aditya Birla sometime back made a statement which is normally agreed to the estimates of the business is not expected to prosper the society that it fails.
Yeah, I would like to add one point as ECIL TVs is concerned. The government policy itself is changed. When the government was formed earlier, I think after the independence during 1948 to 50, the industries were scheduled as A, B, C and D. In that A category industries was given the only defense and which were given in the public sector which was secret could not be revealed. And then B industries are something which can be categorized either both of these. C is for public. Like that D, any green sectors and card sectors, they were very free. The items have been clearly categorized. And after post-liberalization, earlier to that for some time, what I did is, again the government policy has been shifted. What could be done in public can be changed into minor things which can be given to the public as a private business so that the economy can be developed and the standard of living could be increased. Like that, some of the products they have decategorized for the monopoly category and defense category, they have given to the public. This is what I would like to add. That's why whatever the public sectors and defense sectors they are manufacturing here, whatever the products they have been given to the private, keeping in view the public can serve much more better or a better standard of living. Thank you.
No. It is the market. Today, let's say you take, I wrote somewhere else, the Banaras brocade size. But still I wonder, those size come in the market. Are our ladies going to buy the Banaras sarees which are made by Banaras people, this one? You know. Today, if that saree costs 1/3 of Banaras thing, we are all going to buy that. It is the market. Let us say today we have a choice. How many of you are owning Indian made TV? Many of us prefer what is made in Korea, what is made in, it happens everywhere. China. That company called Hire, I don't know how many of you have heard. It's coming a big way. It was not, there is no question of public-private debate. That fellow contest them ultimately, which is the market? Market is the sum total of all buyers, suppliers, investors. They decide who should be in the market, who should not be in the market. Nothing to do with any public sector. Just because somebody announces some socks for some, yes, there may be some advantage for a little period. But ultimately, end of the day, it is the market which decides whether you are going to be in or you are not going to be in. And you have to match your thinking, etc. with the market. When there is an equilibrium breakdown, you are out. So debate, I don't know, Dr. Shri can correct me. The debate on public and private is no more valid. Public sector, private sector, no meaning today. Ultimately, the one who, the fittest, the smartest survives.
What I would like to add is, if government does not give any license, can any business? Because prevent has licenses. Unless license is given, nobody can manufacture. Like that, the government policy was restricted to manufacture certain things. Even though market is there, can you manufacture? You cannot.
In 1960-65, when marriage used to be, they all were how to get one HMT watch for the bridegroom. ECIL. Today, situation has totally. You have so much of choice. You go to a superstore. He says this is from this is from this, which one you want to buy? As a consumer, we want that to happen. Maybe if I am in TV manufacturer, I say all other manufacturing units should be shut down and I should be the only one. That is no more right.
Actually, it just to know regarding the performance of the banks. And the sales in the non-equity this thing. The private banks, what we call the return on that is 15%, is against the 9% public to banks. That's why Jean-Claude Trichet, the president of European Central Bank, says that's what he also said, that it's no time for complacency.
So you look at this kind of banks, anywhere banking. Today, if you have an account, you can deposit your check from anywhere. You can issue a check anywhere as a local check. You need not visit the bank at all. It's totally different from operating for branches. It has no meaning. The way in which we do business has enormously changed the things. Yeah, I think.
You're absolutely right, sir.
Lecture was sheer brilliance.
Yes.
And many of our professors can take relief from the way he has presented it. He was not static at all place, moving about, presenting with so capability, so confidence, but new ideas, new thoughts, new concepts. I think we will take weeks and months, the students will take months to chew all the ideas and thoughts which he has given. It's a really brilliant lecture. I must come with it. He created value, he communicated value, and he delivered value.
Yes, delivered value.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I request our President, Shri K. Rajashekhara, sir, to give the president's address.
Good afternoon to all of you. Professor Rajashekhara, I consider as Guru of Management. Mr. Alone, my mentor throughout my life. And especially Shri, the director of ECIL, colleagues from ECIL, IPS staff, students. Somebody said he had delivered the lecture. In my opinion, it is a lifetime experience what Mr. Loon has gone through in industrial life, covering technology-based, industrial relations, leadership management, customer-centric focus. What he has practiced, probably he is trying to share part of it, what exactly he could do it. Maybe as a beneficiary. I am the beneficiary to work with him from a 1 meter distance, many discussions. I am a total beneficiary. If at all I am continuing, most of my value addition should be really rooted and said that it has come from his talk. I don't want to take much time, but I would like to dwell some few points what exactly I am trying to tell, as I understand. One is, you look at perfection. Perfection is a moving object. It is never a stationary. Somebody says, if you are a software engineer, if you have to update your knowledge, if you cannot update your knowledge by keeping yourself locked in the hour if required, you are not required next day morning. As simple as that. It means what? We need to continuously update, unlearn the process, which is more tougher than the learning process. Look at what exactly the market needs. The value, as he has given many examples, changes from time to time, product to product. Expectations are large. But some of the important things has to be borne in mind. I'll try to take 2 points just to supplement what I had understood. Some of you know that the Nokia phones are the best in the world. And probably I would like to share with you, 1% of GDP in Finland was invested as R&D effort on the Nokia phones with an expectation, with an anticipated intelligence and anticipated market. Particularly the Nokia phones are the very good battery management of you should know. 1% of the GDP was set on a small company, and that has given the result as the world needs. So this gives a lot of message why it should not be, why it should. And most of us in the customer-centric focus, they are very pinpricks to the customers. Most of us do ignore what exactly we mean. Like a syndrome to a body, when certain syndrome comes as a bad events or bad things, industry, the third factor which is important with respect to human capital is the employer leadership, employee benefits. But human psychology is different. They compare with other companies, they compare with other colleagues who are the same classmates where they are put up, how much they get. It means attraction and retention of an activity or to a knowledge management is going to be, and HR also, is going to be tough. Much focus on this, the internal problems will become such a situation, the business plan is taken by these internal factors. This is what I understand when I say internal factors. This could lead IR problem, this could lead strike, anything it can lead to that. So better sensing what exactly is going to be. Look at that, take corrective actions rather than trying to be reactive nature, be proactive nature. This is what exactly he is trying to, maybe if I understand him correctly or partially with the knowledge, whatever I got. On the strategy sectors, namely atomic energy, defense, space, science and technology, security systems, civil aviation. While we are looking forward, take the advantage of so developed software, hardware and network, always probably would have got some more valuation from this kind of situation. And on the IP, I thank for giving an opportunity to talk few words about my so-called inspired guru on this occasion. And thank Mr. Rowe for this. Thank you very much.
Now I request Dr. R.K. Mishra to come on.
At the outset, let us give a big applause to for a very inspiring lecture. I think for integrating past, present and future. That's very important. We only have the understanding of one segment of time. I think there are so many people of far over time. He is one who has integrated time, past, present and future. Professor Lakshmana told that professor should take a lead. I won't agree with him. Professor should take the whole book. Why lead? We take the entire book. I think we should now nullify that whole phrase. Because we talk about future, we talk about anti-future. I think we take the whole book of what we have given to us. Let us also give a big applause to Rajashekhara garu. Because our country has produced great saints and great leaders. But the country has not become great saints, permit me, because we didn't have great followers. If we had great followers like Mr. Rajashekhara, I am sure that we still would have then created sorts of record, which I think has not been done. And in an area of fast-moving technology, Mr. Rajashekhara has done wonderful work. His two successors, Mr. Rohn, has been appointed a lot and has also been working, I think, in tandem with the government and government positions, what my colleague told over there. Sir, I think a couple of things, very important things you told. I think these things are very important. In our country, we always talk of emotion. And this is one thing which has not taken us too far. And when we have gone to foreign countries, we leave the emotion behind. And what becomes important is emotion. So one thing I think that you told, can we talk of motion? Can we move from, when we talk of value migration, can we migrate from emotion to motion? Another very important thing is that we always talk of revision. First plan, second plan. Professor Rajashekhara, my teacher, who worked at Jaipur and Delhi school, he always used to say, what is ninth plan? The plan revised 9 times. So it's not revision, but what is important is vision. And I can tell you, vision should not be the articulation and should not be something which should be owned only by director of an institute or by chairman of a company or by prime minister. I think each one has to have a vision. And if we can bring, I think, that out in a small child, I think, in our place, in countries that we have dropped, I'm sure our batteries have been charged, and we become energized, and we go forward and make the best use of the moment that God has given to us. We become meaningful to ourselves, we become meaningful to others, we create something on which people can stand and think. I give you a big word.
I request Mr. Shri to propose vote of thanks. Present a memento to V.S. Rao sir for as a token of gratitude for my being.
Today you have, as Professor Lakshmana told, you have become
to present a memento to Rajashekhara and Rao sir as a token of gratitude. To present the memento to Rajashekhara. I request Shri to propose vote of thanks.
I explained very well about many things, but I would like to just on this creative destruction which you have spoken at length, and the anticipatory intelligence which you have spoken. What I feel is you have said right, and as long as I was listening to your lecture, I was getting reminded of the learning organization of the 5th discipline of Peter Singh. It's not only the company, every individual needs to invent and reinvent himself or herself from time to time so as to be in tune with the market condition. Thank you very much, sir. Taking of knowledge and the needs of market, and he also enlightened about the board and the broad functions of the board, and he emphasized the necessity of being proactive rather than reactive. Professor R.K. Mishra has emphasized on a vision rather than a revision, and he emphasized that everybody should have a vision and work with synergy and harmony. Thank you very much, sir, for your enlightening lecture. I thank everybody, the administrative staff, and all those who have participated in this distinguished lecture. Thank you very much.
उत्तर 5 minutes जी మీరు వేసుకోండి रोहन sir
Any more? 5, 26.